The Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order fiasco is in full swing. Some people got their pre-orders, some people didn't. We talk about all of the mess today. Folks, welcome back to the Mario Matter, your favorite Nintendo podcast, episode 137. I'm your host, Nintendo YouTuber EmSwizzle. It's a good day to be back, my friends. We're running off a 3 hours sleep, if that. I just got back from camping outside GameStop for 25 hours, but we do not care. Yes, I swear, 25 hours. But with that said, you don't care about that. What is on today's program? First things first, me and our guest diving right into things, talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order mess. Did me and our guest get pre-orders? Was it a mess? Was it easy to do? We talk all of that. After that, we dive into some general Nintendo news, Switch 2 tidbits, all that kind of cool stuff. Then, to cap things off, we dive into the Q&A segment where me and our guests answer your questions you asked us about Switch 2, about Nintendo, and all the fun things. And our guest today is Sunbro Nation, my friends, a Nintendo YouTuber with over 80,000 subscribers. Sunbro keeps you in the loop, 6 to 7 videos per week. He keeps you in the loop with all things Nintendo news. You will not miss a beat if you subscribe to him. All of his links are down below. Sunbro and I had an amazing conversation. Let's not delay it any further. Let's go ahead and let's get to the conversation now.
Welcome to the Mario Matter, the #1 Nintendo podcast.
Sunbro, welcome to the Mario Matter. How's it going?
Going great, Max. Thanks for inviting me on. I'm excited to talk to you about, Switch 2 pre-orders for sure, and I'm sure you're going to go over the topics, but man, there's a lot of stuff to unpack. So thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Of course, man. There's so much to unpack, as you just said. And usually on this show, not sure if you're familiar, we dive into bits of news to start off. But I figured we dive right in to the elephant in the room, the newest, freshest topic of them all. And this will probably be a good chunk of the show. We have to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders. So as me and you are recording this, it is Thursday. And I guess let's start here. Did you get your Switch 2 pre-order?
I did. I was fortunate enough to get it. So I was actually live streaming it last night, and we had probably, I think at the highest point, it was like a little over 3,000 viewers.
Dang.
And I ran a poll that got about a few thousand votes, probably I think 2,700 votes, and it landed on a 60-40 split. And I've also been following a lot of other polls online, and it's almost a 60-40 split across the board from what I've seen so far, with 60 yes, 40 no. So there was not enough demand to meet everybody's pre-orders, and it was a mess. And this was after, hours of literally trying all retailers. And I was going Best Buy. They dropped last.
Yeah.
So I started trying to, watch Target and Walmart, but I was like, Best Buy's going to drop at some point. And I did get in right away at Best Buy, but I still sat in that queue for 45 minutes before I was able to check out with the console. But yeah, I really wanted Best Buy because they got a midnight launch, and fortunately I was able to walk away with that. How about you, man? What was your result?
Oh boy, you don't want to know my results. So I will give some quick context here. So pre-orders went up at 12 a.m. midnight, April 24th. That is Target, Walmart, and Best Buy. Best Buy didn't drop the pre-order until I believe, because I was waiting so much. I believe it was 12:28. They put out their first little add to cart or join the line or whatever. So I had been camping outside of GameStop since 11 a.m. yesterday.
Wow.
So I haven't slept. I was running off 20 minutes of sleep all of today. I, just before this podcast, got a little hour and a half nap, so that's good. I'm gonna kind of go deep here. So I was in line, and when all the pre-orders dropped, I was on my phone in the GameStop line, trying to get everything so I can maybe leave the GameStop line and go home and not have to stay out there. I was able, even though I'm going to get one at GameStop, I was able to get through at Target. Target was the best for me. Right at It wasn't even right at 12. It was like 12,
It was,
4 a.m. Like I was able to
Yeah.
go on there and just add to cart, pay, done.
Target floodgates opened and there was no queue system with Target. So it was just immediate chaos. Like we had so many people in chat that were immediately like, got it at Target, got it at Target, got it at Target. It was crazy. So
I was one of them. And I was worried that it was going to get canceled because I'd seen a lot of people say they had ordered it from Target, but it got canceled or they had some email or something. I was worried about that. But yeah, went through Target. And then what I found was like, all the accessories seemed a lot easier to get than I thought. Like, I could wait in that Best Buy line, like at 7 o'clock this morning, and get through for any of the accessories. Like, so that was pretty easy to get. I did stay at GameStop. I got all my stuff. There's a lot to unpack. Where do I even go from here? I don't even know. Let's go here. Sorry,
hang on. I got a quick question for you, just because you went for the in-store route. So what was the you being there that long? Did you show up and you were first? Did you say?
Yeah.
And,
so
okay,
go ahead.
And then what? How did the crowd change as the day went on? You know what I mean? Like, so I'm curious to hear like what the line looked like and when it got busy versus when it, you know, how did that end up with the whole camp out experience?
Yeah. So I was first. I went over at 11 a.m. on April 23rd, and the next person didn't show up until 10 p.m. that night. So I don't know if I just went way too early or what. But then, you know, you would think, because me and that guy, the second guy in line, thought, oh, after 12 a.m., there's going to be a lot more people coming because, you know, they didn't get their online orders. The next guy didn't show up until like 9 a.m. the next day, you know, April 24th. So there was a long time. It was just me and him in our lawn chairs, occasionally walking over to the 24/7 IHOP to go to the bathroom and come back. Like we were just camping out. It was cool. But was it, I don't know your full experience, was it harder than you thought it would be to get it?
Okay, so this is kind of cool because for me, I actually started my YouTube journey right around the launch of the PS5. And one thing before I figured out that I really wanted to focus in on Nintendo content, I was making some restock tips and tricks videos on PS5 because it was worse than this. And the reason I say it's worse is the stock was way more limited. This was the same experience with websites crashing and servers just not being able to handle the traffic. That's how the PS5 launch went too, but the actual sellout happened way quicker because there was not as many units. Nintendo, I think, did stick to their word, like what Furukawa said, which is that we're going to try to flood the market as much as possible. They're not going to hit all market demand, but they really hit maybe 60% of day one pre-order demand potentially. And that's a lot closer than I think, you know, PlayStation got with the PS5 launch.
Right.
So this was better than that launch because even though the retail sites were still a mess, it did seem like ultimately if you stayed in the battle, and I'm talking like I streamed for 2.5, almost 3 hours, and people were barely getting their orders in by the end of that stream. So we're talking an hour and a half plus past when the initial stock drop launched because of how many orders were getting canceled. Just things were happening basically where that inventory was being reallocated back to the stock available. So Walmart, you know, I was seeing people get in at Walmart literally an hour and 45 minutes after it went live and get their confirmation sent through. So from that aspect, it was better, but anything that's a high demand item nowadays, when you're battling online, you're fighting bots and everything else, and plus all the people that actually want it was still rough, man.
Yeah. I had to go to GameStop just for the peace of mind of, you know, being first in line. You know, I can rest easy. But I fully expected to go on Target's app and for it to crash, for the whole thing to be a bloodbath. I was surprised at how fast I could do it. I think I had to like click place your order maybe a few times and then it went through. But yeah, I was shocked at how fast that was. And you had brought up part of it. You saw the whole like Japan pre-order lottery debacle. Do you want to go into that?
Yeah, let's talk about that because so first off, you get a notification from, you know, this is Furukawa.
Oh, you know it's something.
it's something whenever that's how the post starts out, or even this is Miyamoto, we're getting Zelda movie news or something, you just know something's about to go down, or Mario, that we're going to get some big update when it starts out like that. Mm-hmm. And it was basically an apology, just straight up calling it what it was. Knowing everything we knew walking into this launch, we tried to do our best with allocating and creating enough inventory to meet demand. Unfortunately, 2.2 million registrants on the My Nintendo store just from Japan alone is significantly more interest than even what we could prepare for. So many people are not going to be selected when it comes down to this order process. So basically, Furukawa said to avoid headache and frustration, if you don't get wave 1 of their lottery, you're gonna automatically be rolled into wave 2. And then shortly after that, this is actually a separate thing that happened a little bit later. The US store is not guaranteeing day 1 pre-order delivery anymore. So it hit there, and then we saw the chaos happen online, and then right before the pre-orders happened that night at the retailers, we also got that heads up that, hey, even here, if you're on the interest list for My Nintendo Store, what was scary about that post, and probably mainly for people who registered late, but it said you might not get your invitation email to purchase from the My Nintendo Store until after the console launch.
Scary.
It's literally what it says. Mm-hmm. So that, that just tells you Nintendo, they tried, but the interest is here. And it makes sense on paper. I mean, we have 150 million plus install base of a still lively console. I mean, it's slowed down, but dude, it's still popular 8 years after its launch. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of people who have had a Switch for a long time that want to upgrade. So this makes sense that it's kind of chaotic, but Nintendo tried, but they're still not meeting demand.
Right. I do feel like the only thing that I thought about, though, like the whole 2.2 million number or whatever, is that not just people that are just trying to pre-order the system? So in the US, before we had Best Buy and GameStop and everybody, putting out their own pre-orders on their own sites, everybody and their mom went to Nintendo.com to try to
yes,
like put your interest in or whatever. Are most of those people just are 2.2 million actually going to buy through Nintendo's site? Probably not. Like, they're going to buy somewhere else, I imagine.
But I will tell you my 2 cents on that real quick, because
sure.
I do actually believe that you're onto something. Well, it's a two factor thing. So one, I think it's people's fallback plan. I don't think that everybody was actually planning on buying from the My Nintendo store, but people in Japan were registering that if they didn't get it anywhere else, they might buy it from the My Nintendo store. The other thing is, and the reason that number is a little bit more impressive than maybe what I want to just kind of discount it in a way, but at the same time, I think it's a little bit more impressive because you do have to be an NSO member, and you also have to have that gameplay log. So it wasn't like a ton of just brand new out of nowhere accounts. Like, these were direct Nintendo consumers that were able to log into their Nintendo account and say, I want to purchase this thing. Does it mean they actually go through with it? Not necessarily. But whenever you're just trying to gauge interest for a new product, I do think Furukawa's statement was somewhat, I think it was truthful. That's way more than what they thought they would get. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and you also have to take into account, to be fair, in Japan, they have a region-locked version of the Switch available for significantly less.
Yep.
It translates to something like $340 USD. So at that price point, if you've had your Switch for a long time, everybody in Japan's probably like, I'm ready to upgrade.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And why would they not be? Switch is not running great in the year 2025, but pre-orders happened. It seems like people are getting... I feel like if you wanted one, you most likely maybe have one. I feel like if you did the whole 2 devices, 3 browser, whatever you did, I feel like most people I know were able to get one. Did you get any accessories with your pre-order, or were you even able to?
Yes, fortunately. So, and it's funny because in the chaos of worrying about the console, I totally spaced, and also live streaming, I forgot that I needed to order accessories too. So after 45 minutes plus, the Best Buy queue got checked out there, and then just went back to like live stream, just chilling with the audience, congratulating them on them as they're getting their orders to go through. And then it dawned on me as like, dude, I need a Pro controller. I'm also one of the weird ones that willingly paid Nintendo more money to get the console by itself and Mario Kart World physically. So I didn't even order Mario Kart World physically. And I'm like, dude, that's my launch game, you know? Basically, it was from the queue to getting checked out and then to going for the accessories. It was one of those, you know, things where sorry, that's where I was. Okay, so I'm one of the people who actually paid Nintendo more money willingly for the base console and Mario Kart World separately physically. But then when it came down to realizing that I got the console and that was my number one priority, I realized I don't have a game with this thing because I didn't get the bundle. Because I'm trying to stick physical as much as I can during this generation, even with the whole game key card situation. But outside of the game key cards, I'm probably going to buy most games physically. So I got Mario Kart World pre-ordered as my next thing. And then I was like, I didn't get a Pro Controller yet. Now, I got Mario Kart World really easily through Best Buy. And then I decided I was in queue for the Pro Controller. That was lasting forever at Best Buy. So I just went over to Walmart on that tab and literally added a Pro Controller and a camera straight to cart. No queue, no wait. Checked right out and got an order confirmation. So that stuff was easier than I thought. Then I circled back to Best Buy, and because I just wanted to do some more damage to my wallet that night, which really hurt today after I woke up and saw the finalized total of everything. But I decided to go ahead and pick up Cyberpunk 2077 as well physically, since that is all on the cartridge on a 64 gig cart. So I got that coming from Best Buy as well. So we're actually going to pick up at Best Buy because fortunately they're one of the ones that have a midnight launch.
So I found that Walmart was the best because not only, if I'm not wrong, there wasn't a line, right? Or am I forgetting?
Well, yes, Walmart put you in a line for the console, but
Right.
every accessory purchase, anything I went back to them afterwards for, there was no line. But whenever I first got into Walmart, they immediately put me in a queue just to wait.
Yeah. So I was able to get my little Piranha Plant camera. I am a bit skeptical though, because Walmart has come out and is now promising everybody, I'm sure that you saw this, delivery by 9 a.m.
Yes.
on the day of launch. Let's talk about that for a minute. Do we think that's happening? I think that's impossible to control. Because although you can probably get it in place for most areas, someone's gonna slip on a banana peel, something's gonna happen. Like, it's not, you can't really put that out there, you know?
Right. Yeah, I wondered that too. And I also think it's one of those claims where Walmart isn't really saying, or your money back, right? So if it shows up at noon or 4 p.m., it's like you still got the console. Nobody's really going to say anything. So I do think it was just a lever for them to pull to get more people to try to get it from them. Interestingly, though, this might kind of tie into it. Just before we hopped on this call, I saw a friend of the channel, Andres Restart. I don't know if you've had him on.
We have.
Okay, cool. So he said that his Walmart confirmation order in the video says that it's arriving the day before on June 4th.
Wow.
Now it hasn't shipped, so that might just be Walmart's internal estimate. But if by some way Walmart pulled off where they can break it up over late on the 4th to early morning the 5th, and Walmart also has their own like plus delivery drivers now. If you're like a Walmart Plus subscriber, you can order straight from their store. So I wonder if they're actually going all hands on deck here and doing some crazy, like, let's deliver some early, let's get the rest working overnight, like Amazon delivery driver style. I mean, I don't know, but I wouldn't hold my breath for the 9 a.m. delivery, but you know, it's nice to see because Target, they weren't making any kind of promises like that. Right. So, you know.
I believe Target said like June 6th to 11th when I checked my pre-order. So not optimal there. We'll see if that changes. But I feel like they're usually good though. I feel like June 6th is a nice little bet. But if it's any later than that, you're not going to be too happy. But we'll see what happens there. The only other thing to talk about is let's see if I put this on our show notes here. I think it just came out a few minutes ago, or a few hours ago, so maybe not. Yeah, I didn't. So the other thing that I saw, and we can dive into it later, is the GameCube Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. The release date or the pre-order date for that, I believe, is going to be May 13th. You might know better than I. I believe that's what I read. That is breaking news. Are we going to pick that up?
Oh, absolutely day one. And actually a little bit worried about that one because VGC had put out an article, which is a very credible outlet. They put out an article that around the time that the GameCube NSO controller was announced, that you would have to pre-order, that Nintendo was only selling it to My Nintendo Store console purchasers. Now, I don't, that has not, now I have not verified that, and Nintendo, that pre-order date, that's actually news to me because I was working today, so I did not see that the May 13th date. But if there's no small print that says like you also have to purchase the console from the My Nintendo Store, then I'm absolutely getting a day one. I'm really worried though if it is that requirement because these, I mean, I was trying, around for the N64 NSO controller and even the SNES, like the wave one of those controllers when they hit, and even for like a year, they're almost impossible to find. It's like a random stock drop happens. A few thousand people get it, and then it's like back to being sold out for like another 2-3 months. So I will have my eye on this GameCube controller thing, but it's literally outside of the Pro controller. And I would almost say in a way for a lot of games, it is still ranked higher than that. It's like my favorite gaming controller of all time. Yeah. I mean, I still use it for Smash Bros. To this day. I never converted to Pro controllers for Smash. So definitely want that controller in the lineup.
Yeah, but especially because like those little Power A GameCube controller knockoff things, they aren't exact. I want the real thing. So that'll be nice. I don't know if there's a way though that they can say only console. I mean, they can say that for sure, but like, not everyone's going to order through Nintendo. I feel like at this point, I mean, let's say that your 60-40 poll is accurate. 60% of people were able to get a pre-order. I feel like at this point, would you, and I know the answer, I'm just asking, would you at this point cancel your Best Buy pre-order for a Nintendo one? I feel like everyone's going to stick to their guns,
No, yeah, not at all. And especially after Nintendo just straight up backtracking the commitment to, June 5th delivery. So yeah, I would absolutely not do that right now. And I don't know either. This was, this came out, this article that I'm referencing came out around the time that the GameCube controller was announced. So it's very possible that maybe somewhere it looked like that was the plan and that's not the plan anymore because they already require you to be an NSO member. So that's already one wall for purchase. So to do another one where you have to also purchase the console from them online through your My Nintendo Store, I feel like that's too much. So I really hope that it doesn't go down that way because yeah, I mean, GameCube NSOs, they're day one. And, ideally, you want to boot up those games with the Cube controller, Right.
Maybe at the most give priority to those console buyers, but I feel like it can't just be them only. Yeah. But hopefully they have enough to go around because, as you were saying, like, it's great. We want to play day one. We shall see. I have doubts I'll be able to get the thing day one, like in my hands, via delivery. Yeah, it'll probably be like a week later. But as long as we can both get one, it'll be all good, and hopefully we don't have to fight scalpers for it on eBay. Have you seen the scalped prices, by the way, for Switch 2?
I have, and some of them are completely outrageous. Another thing that's kind of new that I actually talked about in my video today. There are all these, like, they're claiming to be posts just to throw off scalpers and bots, but they're literally eBay listings that say they're selling the console for the retail price, like it's the bundle for $4.99. I
saw that.
But it always says read description, and if you read the description, it says this is to off-put bots and scalpers. And this is a picture of the console, not the console itself. Don't buy this listing. But then people buy the listings. They go sold. Yeah. So I don't know, you know what I mean? Like how many just old people out there that are trying to buy one for their grandkids are getting screwed over on this deal. I don't know, but that yeah, it's an interesting thing that's popping up on eBay. But yeah, some of those $750, even $1,000. I saw a couple crazy ones asking $2,000 for it. Like there's some wild listings out there on eBay right now.
I'm checking right now. Let's go here. Let's go sold items. Okay, so something sold today, $650 for just the base console. We got $670 actually for the Mario Kart bundle. We got $720 for the Mario Kart bundle. Yeah, man, it's not good. We got a Best Buy pre-order for $745. I mean, so $300 more. $200 to $300, somewhere in that range. I mean, I can get it. Maybe if you're like a Nintendo YouTuber or you're just a big Nintendo fan, maybe. But otherwise, stay away. Just wait.
Try not to support the scalping market if at all possible. Everybody can always spend their own money however they please, but ideally, if we can hold out and not purchase those consoles at those exorbitant prices, it's just a shame that it's a business, but people do it that way. So
last thing that I'll say, my dad was with me in the GameStop line, and he was like, "If I get a Switch 2, what's wrong with me just selling that for $100 more bucks online?" I'm like, "There's nothing." I mean, you can do it,
Yeah,
but like,
but come on,
people don't like you if you do it. It's not great. But going back to the GameCube controller, we can kind of transition here into more of our tidbits of Nintendo news over the past 7 days. We have a bit of news here that reads, Nintendo is now, I worded it, suggests the NSO GameCube controller may work in non-GameCube Classics games. So I believe, if I have this story right, a few weeks ago when we heard about the whole GameCube controller, it seemed like Nintendo worded its functionality in a way that the GameCube controller could only be used to play those GameCube games. So Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, all that kind of stuff. So that kind of hurt for any Smash Bros. Players holding out hope that it would work with Smash. Now Nintendo has told this to Polygon, and I believe a few other outlets as well. And they've said this, quote, "The Nintendo GameCube controller is designed for use with the Nintendo GameCube, obviously, Nintendo Classics collection of games, and is an optional way to play those games. Since it doesn't have all the buttons and features found in other controllers that can be used with the Nintendo Switch 2 system, there may be some issues when playing other games. The Nintendo GameCube controller can only be used on Nintendo Switch 2 and is not compatible with Nintendo Switch." So a whole bunch of PR, nothing, make it sound good. What I take from this is like, we're going to say that it works with the next Smash Bros. without at all saying it. Am I wrong to take that from this?
No, you're not. And it's actually funny because I think there was some worry about this. And the reason it gained so much traction online was because we are walking into a new console generation. What's funny that a lot of people pointed out after those headlines started flying about Nintendo says it's only going to work on GameCube games, which is a real disclaimer that they put at the bottom of the, the section for that controller.
Right.
That's accurate. But turns out that if you look back at old NSO controller launches, they have similar wording and similar disclaimers, and all of the other NSO controllers have worked in the other games. So when I saw that kind of clarified that, wait a minute, other controllers also had a similar disclaimer, I was less worried. But now this is Nintendo's spokesperson, and I think they want to market it for that reason and say, hey, to have a one-to-one gameplay experience, like this only really works with GameCube games. And that's an accurate statement. But you can still use it, on the Smash Bros. Games. You can still use it on really any game. And there's button remapping available on, the Switch and Switch 2. So yeah, it would make no sense for Nintendo to lock it just to GameCube games. And I'm really glad that it sounds like they clarified that now. But they're warning you, like, it's not going to have a select button or whatever,
right.
So like if your game needs that for some reason, or if the button layout looks weird to you because it's in, the traditional 4-button layout and compared to how the GameCube controller's laid out, you might say, oh, this doesn't work very good with this game. So I feel like they're afraid of that, so they can overcorrect and say, hey, it's not compatible with those other games when really it is. So yeah, great, big relief though. If Nintendo locked that down to where NSO controllers wouldn't work with other games, it would be a huge misstep in my opinion.
I agree. It's gonna be a funny looking controller. It looks like a whole GameCube controller, and then on the top you have the C button, you got the home button, you got the sync button, you got the capture. It's a weird looking GameCube controller, but that'll be out launch day. You could try to pre-order May 13th. I don't exactly know what time that'll be, but stay tuned. That will come out. I'm hoping we can get one, man. It'll be nice to play our games with those. The other thing that I want to talk about that we've known about since last week, but I want to get your thoughts and dive a little bit more into this because I was at GameStop and, I was trying to figure out which accessories and things to buy. And I just saw this again and I don't know. I want to get your take here. So The new Zelda amiibo, and I'm going to go ahead and assume all amiibo in the future. Maybe I'm wrong for that. We can talk. Have now been increased to being $30 each. So these were originally listed at $20 each for the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the Unobo, the Sidon, the Riju, and the Tulin amiibo. There we go. We got all four there. They are now $30 each. So you buy all four, it's $120. Sunbro, let's talk. Amiibo, $30. Yay or nay?
No, it's nay, unfortunately, man. It's just at that price point where it's like, this adds up too quick. You know what I mean? Like, if I was going to buy one amiibo for one game and that's it, okay, maybe for the Zeldas and the Marios, I pick them up. But whenever it's like, they release 4 or 5 amiibo of a collection, that you can get with a lot of these releases. And when you're talking at $30 a pop, and I think I could be wrong about this, but I saw some talk, third-party amiibo like Street Fighter 6 has one or something, and it's 40.
Yes,
dude.
correct.
So there's certain amiibo going to 40. That's just not like fun, small toy pickup money anymore, It is fun to have those, but it's just pricing it right outside of the impulse buy range where you're just like, you know what? I mean, maybe if those get oversaturated in the market and they become collector's items that aren't so highly valued, I'll worry about them in the future. I'm not spending $30 an amiibo. If there's one that I have to have, I'll like splurge on one here and there, but I'm not trying to pad out the collection of amiibo at this price point.
Mm-hmm. I remember good old me walking into GameStop back in 2015. There's amiibo for like $14, some Skylanders for $12. It was a nice time.
$12.99, $15, pretty common prices for these. Right. I mean, seriously, that's crazy.
It was a nice time in the Toys to Life era. Now we're just make it cost whatever. Now, do you think this is the price for all amiibo, or is this a special pricing, Switch 2 launch, all that kind of stuff?
I haven't looked into where amiibo are manufactured at, but if it's coming from China, that could have something to do with us. I don't know, because obviously there's a whole tariff situation going on right now. Maybe it's a reaction to that, like the accessories we saw price increases for as well. It's possible that these come back down, but what really will I think be the only hope of them coming back down in the future, if this is resolved, is if they don't sell at the current prices. Because if they do sell very well at the current prices, they will probably stay at that higher price. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that unfolds. I think there's like a small, glimmer of hope that maybe they adjust them back down if the sales really fall off a cliff. Because I think a lot of people are going to feel like that for the $30 amiibo price point. They're just going to think it's too much. So maybe we see it come back down. But I do think this might just be one of those, new price increases that amiibos aren't as essential for my collection, so I'm not personally as worried about it. But
I think it comes down at for the next launch, because Nintendo had restocked amiibo last year a whole bunch. They brought back the Mii fighters from Smash and a whole bunch of Smash amiibo and all these, and these were $16 a pop, 17, somewhere in that range. So to almost double the price, I think there's something wrong. I think the Zelda ones might just be a bit more. I'm thinking, the price will probably be increased. I'm looking at at the most, I'm not in support of this, but maybe the $22 range, or you can't just double it. I feel like we're going a bit extreme here. I'm maybe thinking these Zelda ones are just a special $30 case.
Yeah, let's hope for that. That's optimistic. What makes me more worried about the fact that it might not be that is the Street Fighter one, that for some reason is more.
40.
40, yeah. So
I'm not sure what the deal is.
Yeah, who knows, man? But yeah, let's hope that they correct the pricing at some point, or these are one-offs. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see the new 3D Mario amiibo at that $30 price point also. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh boy. That's just because if the game is 70, say, 3D Mario, which that has a chance to be 80. Yeah, that has a chance to be 80. If that is 70 though, $30 amiibo, that's $100. Dude, man, things add up quick. It's crazy. But yeah, that might be 80.
Like I said, when it was all fun and games and hype when I was checking out with everything on the stream last night, and then looking at the wallet damage this morning was like, okay, this adds up quick, man. So
I got my long GameStop receipt today, and I was like, what have I done? Like my gosh. But it'll be fun times. We have, I believe, let's get the exact date here. I have it on my 42 days to go until the Nintendo Switch 2 release. When this podcast gets posted, 40 days on the dot. So there we go. Not too far from now. The last tiny piece of news I thought was cool to mention, we can't really dive deep into it because why would we, is a cool fact. The Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller actually has come out to charge twice as fast as the Switch 1 controller. So there we freaking go. According to Nintendo, it takes 6 hours to fully charge the Switch 1 Pro Controller, and it only takes 3.5 hours, so almost half the time, to fully charge the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller. And a side piece of news, the Joy-Con 2s will match the current Joy-Con's battery life, so no worries on that. Joy-Cons shouldn't die unless you do a gaming marathon. I don't know. They shouldn't die. They last forever. Not that we can go far into this topic. It's pretty surface level, small piece of news. But, I mean, I guess it's good news. We'll take it.
Yeah, here's my thing with the new Pro Controller. First of all, the battery life is already really good on the Pro Controller. And I know it's going to be like the same. So the fact that you can get it charged up twice as fast is actually really nice. I mean, because the Pro Controller does quite honestly stay charged for a long time after it's fully redone. I don't find myself, even though I use it a lot, I don't have to recharge it. Like, in comparison to how much I'm recharging my DualSense controller for the PS5, it is like significantly less for the Pro Controller. So it's already really good battery life, which is cool. But I don't know if you've seen any of this talk online, but people that have gotten their hands on with the Pro Controller are really singing the praises of how these analog sticks and even just the materials feel of this controller, that it's like premium to another level. And what's interesting is Nintendo will not, they're not using Hall effect sticks according to their own answer, but now people are like, what are they using? Because, we saw these patents for various different types of input thumbsticks and stuff like that from Nintendo. A lot of people thought they were Hall effect, but Nintendo was also issuing a patent on them. So did Nintendo kind of create their own little way of, it's Hall effect sticks, but better somehow, or it feels better at least? Because people were saying that you can, press them hard all the way around in a circle and it's still there's resistance, but it doesn't feel like it's wearing down. I guess it kind of feels like it smoothly glides in all situations. So I haven't gotten my hands on one yet. I'm excited to. But yeah, the battery life news is just icing on the cake for hopefully way better feeling analog sticks, because the amount of hundreds of hours of gameplay that are going to go through that Pro Controller, I want it to feel as premium as possible. So
for $85, it better feel pretty premium. That's good to hear, because I, as somebody who has not had my hands on it, I look at the Switch 2 Pro Controller and I look at the Switch 1 version. I mean, it looks just visually like the exact same. It has the same little arrow icons on the D-pad. The texture of the thumbstick and the renders look the same. It looks like the exact same thing, but I'm sure it feels a lot better. I'm excited to try it. I think I might have heard a little bit. It's nice and smooth. So we will see. I'm excited to get my hands on it. Same with the Joy-Cons as well. Yeah, me and you both have not had our hands on the system, which sucks. Did you apply for those events?
I applied immediately, and a waiting list and everything, and just it was such a randomized pick on who got in. It was not everybody who applied for sure. And then the waiting list, I never even heard of anybody that applied for the waiting list that actually got in. So I think that just means most of the people showed up. You know what I mean? And there was no additional slots. So even though I applied for the waiting list, unfortunately, no luck this time, but oh well, we're close enough now at this point.
Yeah, I was trying to see if people got in off the wait list. I would Google or search on Twitter Switch 2 wait list, and every few days I would see the occasional person say, I got in off the wait list. Oh my gosh,
nice.
Wow.
Okay, well, it's good that some people got. I didn't see any of that talk. So yeah, that's crazy.
Gave me some hope didn't end up happening. But hey, 40 days left, so shouldn't be too long. But folks, that is it for Nintendo news. For the most part, you can go search out tiny things. Like I saw a Switch 2 was taken off of like a Chinese manufacturing area. So I guess there's a Switch 2 in the wild now. I guess that's out there.
Yeah, there's a legit video of it. You can hear the Joy-Cons clicking and unclicking in a quiet environment because obviously the hands-on events were really loud and stuff like that. So I guess that's new info, but it's like if this happened before the Switch 2 official reveal, it would have been huge. But because it happened after the detailed trailers and all the hands-on footage, it's kind of like, okay, somebody decided to get clever. And there's no finalized OS on it. It looks like it's all like firmware testing software and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So
I would be interested if some videos came out where I could see more of the OS. Like I want to see.
Yes.
God, I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about. If you want, you can pull up a picture of the home screen. There's this little icon, in that home row. I think is it green? I forget.
It's like a bluish, like a bluish color, if I'm not mistaken.
It's like a scroll. I hope that's an activity log of some sort where you can see your exact playtime.
Okay, maybe worth it. You let me pull up a picture because I'm thinking maybe we're thinking of a different one because what I was thinking of was actually the one that to me looks like. Well, I'll tell you what it looks like when I see. Let's see.
I'm gonna look it up too. So the green icon is what I was talking about. It looks like a scroll. I'm hoping it tells you your playtime.
Oh, yes. Okay, that green icon. Yeah. I got you. I thought you were talking about the bluish one that has the lines on it.
Oh,
you know what I think that is? Yeah, Game Share. Yeah, that's I didn't know if that's okay. So yeah, you're right. But is that not would that green one maybe be like the news section or something like that?
That's what I'm thinking, but that tab always seems so useless to me. Like, why is that even a thing? So I mean, it could be, but also I feel like they could just put that tab in the Switch Online app. It'd be kind of weird because you shouldn't need a membership to see news, but like, maybe just put it in there to hide it. That could be news, but I feel like for the most part though, the other icons stayed the same. So I feel like that one would stay the same too. Like the eShop is still a bag. The album is like, if I'm not wrong, it's like very similar to the current album icon that we have now. I could be wrong, but like I feel like most things stayed the same. That looks a little new to me, but I don't see much talk about it, so it might just be news. We'll have to see. I'd be interested to like see more of the OS and the UI or whatever you call it, but we shall see. Lots of weeks to come. Could get a lot more leaks, but folks, it is time to get to your favorite segment, the question block segment, where me and Sunbro answer your questions you asked us. Let's go ahead. Let's get to it. My friends, you have made it to the Q&A segment, the question block segment. We're going to answer your questions. If you want to ask questions to be featured on the show, there are a few ways to do so. Number one, I post on my YouTube community tab every Tuesday at 10 a.m. I know it's kind of specific. It's just what I do. If you don't want to wait for that, you can join the Discord server, link down below. There's a channel called Podcast Questions. Fire away in there. You might be on the show. Or if you're a bit more old school, you can email mariomatterquestions.com. mariomatterquestions@gmail.com with your questions. I might consider them, or I will consider them. You might be on the show. With that said, first question comes from the nerd. Wait, hold on. Okay, sorry. We had a very similar question last week. I was like, did I duplicate this? Okay. The nerd Hinox asks, if there was a Nintendo companion, like a Zelda companion, a Mario companion, or I can't read, Elfilin, what does this say? Elfilin from Kirby.
Elfilin,
the list goes on. Which one would you pick to be your friend in real life? Sunbro, I will start with you.
Okay. Gosh, when I think Nintendo Companion, the one it's just probably for nostalgia, but it's got to be Navi. Like if I want somebody that's just following me around. Now, Navi's a little bit overbearing, but at the same time, Navi's legit got your back. If you don't know what to do, you need direction, Navi's there. Hey, listen, pay attention to me. That's what I would pick as my Nintendo Companion.
My answer is very similar. I go Fi or Fi from Skyward Sword, however you say it. Very, very similar reason. She's always there, knows everything. You know, you can never go wrong. Because if I pick someone like, you know, Cappy from Mario Odyssey, great. Like, he's cool, but if I'm about to die, I would like to know, you know? So
yeah, Cappy will let you go down.
Exactly. Not going to be good. Not Cbop asks, if you had to bring back one era of Nintendo, which would it be? He's taking, wait, hold on. He says, I'm talking GameCube, Wii U, etc. So bring back one era in full force. What would you choose?
Well, I feel like we're going to get GameCube brought back to NSO in a big way. So,
right.
But if I was just going to go back in time and say, like, let's just experience this again, like as if it was happening today, I would actually pick the Super Nintendo because it was my first ever. And funnily enough, I'm wearing a shirt with this Super Nintendo.
There you go.
But yeah, so it was the first console I ever owned. It's really what got me into being a gamer. And I was so young. I mean, 6 years old, 6 years old, all the way through until, you know, like 10, 11, 12, when I really fully started playing N64. I want to know what it's like to pick up, like, you know, A Link to the Past and, Super Mario All-Stars in like their pristine conditions, shrink wrapped cardboard boxes that barely exist anymore because everybody tore them to shreds. I would love to know what that's like hands-on today. So that's probably the generation I'd bring back to relive.
That would be great. Even like for me, who's a bit younger, like just to go back to that era would be cool to see what it's like. I'm similar. I feel like it would be the era that you grew up in. So then my answer then goes to, I mean, I guess I was born. The Wii is 6 days older than I am.
Nice.
So I guess I'm born
That's
into
great.
the Wii generation, but I started off with GameCube because we didn't have a Wii.
Took like a year and a half for anybody to get one, to be fair.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, is my answer GameCube though? I feel like it might be though, because there's a lot of GameCube games I have some nostalgia for. Like, I mean, Luigi's Mansion, Animal Crossing, haven't beaten it, but I would love to like experience these games. Chibi Robo is what I was going to say. Like, these games, I would love to go to whatever store was popping back then, walk in, get a sealed copy of it, walk out. As you were just saying with, you know, SNES, I feel the exact same way. So I'd probably pick GameCube and live the exact same experience that you know you were saying. Get the sealed games, go home, experience them. Seems like fun. So I would choose GameCube. Wii U Weirdo asks, are you going to pick up any game on launch day for Switch 2 other than Mario Kart? I think that you hinted at one earlier, but let's hear it.
Yeah. Fortunately, it's already a completed purchase. So Mario Kart World was purchased separately as a physical edition, and Cyberpunk 2077, also a launch game that I picked up. Now, eShop stuff, I'm going to keep my eye on some stuff for launch day. I'll also be checking out, like, it's not a new game purchase, but Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, I want to see them running in 4K. So that's going to count as like, you know, I won't purchase the upgrade pack because it comes with NSO plus expansion pack.
Heck yeah.
But, you know, I may purchase the Kirby and the Forgotten Land one right away and the Super Mario Party Jamboree upgrade packs right away, which I think are going to be like 20 a pop. I'm not going to buy the new editions of the games completely, but I'm going to do the upgrade pack from Nintendo. So, yeah, I mean, between that and literally having GameCube games day one and Wind Waker's on my replay list, I've been holding off to replay this whole time. Dude, I got plenty to play right at launch.
Here's the thing. Oh, also, I wanted to say, not sure if you're a Madden guy, but Madden 26 got confirmed for Switch 2. That's not launch day, but I just figured I'd throw it in there. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, dude, as you said, there's so much to play. I don't think, I was looking at all the third-party games on launch day. I don't think I need any of those. I think the only other game that I'd pick up is probably the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. I mean, there you go. That's probably,
and it should have been a pack-in. To be fair,
can I even call it a game? It's a piece of software. It's a tech demo. So I'll pick that up just to see like what it's about. You know, we do Nintendo YouTube, so it's good to cover all the bases, and it's $10, which it's criminal. I mean, I thought it'd be $5. Like $5 is fair, or I mean, $5.
Well, no, what it should be free. No, it should be free, but worst case, if they wanted to make some money off of it, or in a way make some money off of it, is just lock it to the expansion pack. And then if you're an NSO member plus expansion pack, you get it included. You know, that should not be a separate monetary purchase. You have to make a glorified instruction manual that has some mini games in it, but oh well.
Exactly.
That's what we're doing.
I think I can get a good hour out of fun out of the game.
Sure.
Maybe like you're doing all the mini games and reading stuff about magnets. I'm back in school again. But yeah, I'll pick that up. And then as you said, you know, look into the upgrade packs. Maybe I load up some like personal favorite games that are not new, but like maybe load up Animal Crossing, my favorite Switch game, and see if there's a performance boost or something. So I doubt it. They didn't say that there would be, but you know, maybe there's something hidden. Who knows? But yeah, just welcome tour probably, and then wait for Bonanza or wait for any other cool third-party game. There is a Story of Seasons game that's coming out that I will look into.
That's right.
It's not until August though, so I have a while, but I will look into that at some point in time. Final question from How To Gamer asks, if you could go back and buy one Nintendo console brand new as well as the games. We kind of just talked about this. Which one would it be?
Yeah, that's the same, almost the exact same. So I mean, it would still be Super Nintendo, but here's what I'm gonna do, because I kind of answered that in the last question.
Yep.
Because I was thinking Nintendo era. I will say that GameCube, I was at that age where I was becoming a hardcore gamer, but I would love to relive that. Like, you know, when I got Wind Waker and the collection pack of Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Zelda 1 and 2 in that collector's edition, like if I could get to walk out with that group of games again, a GameCube, Zelda, Wind Waker, and then the 4 other Zelda games all in one collection pack, that was, I mean, another level of fun at the age that I was. And I'd be happy to just go hit the rewind button and relive that again.
That'd be dope. It sounds dope. I just missed that time era, but it sounds like the dream, man.
Were you there on Wii U at all?
I was.
Were you picking it? Like, were you following Nintendo stuff already as Wii U was coming out, or not quite?
So a little bit. So Wii, I had no idea. I was very young, but Wii U, I didn't know that it was a thing until I got it under the Christmas tree. Like, what is this? Because my brother and sister wanted it. So new Wii of sorts. And then as I got a few years older, like 2 years after we got it, I began discovering, Nintendo game trailers appear on their channel. Oh my gosh, new Animal Crossing. Like it's cool in that way. But I wasn't like following rumors and stuff. So just kind of seeing things that you wouldn't see if you didn't look on YouTube, you know, but not real in the weeds. So Wii U was great though. I think that's honestly my favorite, even though it was the worst, it's my favorite era of Nintendo. It just felt something about the themes and the personality on the systems, both 3DS and Wii U, felt like a charming era. But I think there's a bit more to the question. If you can go back and buy one console brand new and the games, I'm gonna think scalper. What if I went back right now and bought an NES sealed and I sold it today? Oh, I'd secure financial freedom, Sunbro. It'd be great.
I would.
Generational wealth. I mean, I would
definitely
take
the
that.
smartest move. If you needed to do something to set yourself up for the future, that's the move.
There you go. But for me personally, I don't know. I don't need more Wii U's. I have 2. I'll take a fresh. I was gonna say GameCube. What do? I'll take a Wii U. I'll take a Wii U and just preserve it in a storage room.
Keep it sealed in box, right?
Exactly. And I'll keep it there in case my current one fails or something. I'll just keep it around, and I can open it if I ever need to, or resell it in 10 years. Folks, thank you all so much for listening to the Mario Matter episode 137. Sunbro, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I'm not going to lie, you're getting the worst of me. You got the worst of me. We're running on 2 hours sleep. I had to reschedule last week. I apologize. You have the worst of me, my friend. But for that, and I mean, not just for that, I would let you do it anyway. Feel free. The floor is yours, my friend. Plug away your YouTube, where everyone can find you online. Anything upcoming, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks first of all, Max, for having me on. It was a great time talking to you about all things Nintendo this week. And sleep deprivation or not, man, it was a great conversation. So don't worry about it. This has been fun. And you can find me on YouTube, Sunbro Nation. I'm Sunbro Nation on everything. I'm mainly posting on YouTube. X is the other account that I will sometimes post on because that's where the news drops and happens. And I'm quote retweeting things and stuff like that. So check me out on there. And then really my content, 6 to 7 uploads per week,
Dang.
all in the weeds of Nintendo, rumor, news, leak, speculation talk. Like everything's been a lead up to the Switch 2 console launch. And now we get to cover the games as they launch, all of the new insider talk that's, what else is around the corner, will we get a June Nintendo Direct? All that kind of stuff's going to be, front and center right now as we talk about the Switch 2 console launch. So feel free to check me out. And thanks again for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here.
Of course, man. All links are down below. If I can ask, do you think we get a June Direct, or are you saving that for a video?
No, you're good. I would just say it's such a coin flip, but I think Nintendo does it. And if it's not a full-scale Direct, it's a partner Direct, because I actually think that there's enough that Nintendo can put out one first-party game per month in their launch window. So I think we got to learn about more, and we don't have dates for ZA or Metroid Prime 4 yet, so
Crazy.
that makes a lot of sense to be at a June Direct. Yeah, I don't think we wait till September. That's too long. So I do actually think a Direct of some sorts will be happening over the summertime.
I can see it. Even like a mini or something. I can see it
Even
happening.
if it's a mini, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We will see. All of Sunbro's links are down below. Thank you for listening. I will see you all next Saturday for even more Nintendo news and goodness. I'll see you all then. Adios.